Hey, bro, you put any thought into who you want to play in the first round yet?
No, not really.
Funny you should say that. I found this little list. Yeah, it's got a list of a bunch of the teams in the East. And have you noticed something about this list?
I'm not. I have.
Yeah, so most of these teams have one, maybe two reasons as to why you would want to play them. Let's see. Tampa's just a straight up nope.
Well, no one wants to play Tampa.
The Rangers, goalie or bust. I get it. I get what you're saying there.
I mean, yeah, Shesterkin's really good.
Caps, old AF. That's a reason to play them.
They are old, but Ovi's still Ovi.
Do you mind reading out a couple of the reasons you wrote for Toronto?
Okay, I'll start with number one if this is what you want. Lamau, they suck.
Yeah.
Campbell is as hard as the soup he's named after.
Oh, that's true, right?
Matthews is a little bitch boy.
That's my favorite one.
First round, final round.
Well, you know what? I'll see you in that first round.
Good.
Low quality fans, Quality Bruins team, that is a dub. But you know what's even better than a dub? The goalie hug. We never talk about it because it's always talked about, but we never talk about it here. And they had such a cute one tonight. Dub, goalie hug, third place in the Atlantic with a chance for second coming up pretty soon if we can hold water over the next couple of games. Oh, baby. I cannot believe we're back in the division race. No, we're not really in a race for first. Florida more or less has that locked up. There's a bunch of games left. Still 18 games left after this one, but they've got a few points. They got a few games. I don't think we're catching them. But right now, we're tied with Toronto for second in the division. They have a game in hand. Right now, if the playoffs started, we would play Toronto in the first round. Something a lot of you seem to really want to do. I think I agree. I'm just terrified of all the matchups we could have. All of them. Including Toronto. Because eventually, that team will get into the second round. And I really don't want it to be against the Bruins. Even though I think we could beat that team. All that being said, that is a massive dubberooning and cheese. That's a Tampa team that is very good. We're missing our savior in St. Patrice. And yet, we put together a pretty full effort. There's mistakes. There's things to harp on. This game could have gone either way. The refs made sure of that. And I don't mean the refs were biased towards one side because, holy crap, there was a lot going on over there. But it was a hell of an effort. It was a hell of a win. And we should feel pretty freaking good right now. Also, really quick, I know I'm rambling a lot, but we jumped up like 60 or 70 subscribers the past couple of days. Huge shout out to everybody that's just jumping in. The comments, the just communication throughout it all is awesome. So thank you so much. We hit 600. Seriously, we went from like 535 to 600 in like 3 days. That's a huge bump for me. I know there's some channels that gain like 1,000 a day. Fuck them. Huge bump for me. Thank you everyone who subscribed. Thank you everyone who's commenting, who's liking. Check out the Twitter link and the Discord. But most importantly, the Short Shift podcast. The guys, I think it was originally started by Thomas and Andrew. They've put a ton of work into it. I was brought on. I am just leeching off of them for these episodes. It's really easy for me just to jump on and talk to them. They're doing all the work. Check it out. It's super fun. If you like the humor, if you like what I'm doing over here, I guarantee you're going to like that podcast as well. The Short Shift podcast, you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out. These guys are really, really awesome. So, and also I'm on it. So, you know, I'm just doubling down. I'm double dipping at this point. The Lightning come into this game having lost 6 of their last 10. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They're fighting to stay out of that wild card spot that they are now in because they failed, because they lost to us, because they're worse than us, because they can suck it. Numbers outside of their goals for per game, which they're 8th in the league. They tend to pot a lot of goals. pretty average. And you have to ask yourself, is this team tired? A lot of hockey, couple of championships, couple banners. Is this team bored? Or is this team just not as good anymore? That team, to me, is still the team to beat until they're beat. Because when you win back-to-back ships, you're the team to beat regardless of how the regular season is going. So I would not sleep on that team at all. We are now 2-0-1 against them this season. I believe that's our last matchup against them. I think we only played them the 3 times, I think. I'd have to check that. But we did not lose in regulation to them. We had some nice games against them. None nicer than this one. For us, Swayman's going to get the start. He played pretty dang well. Bergeron is still out. He actually ended up having an infection. He needed to get surgery on it. He was potentially, in fact, it was said by Cassidy he was probably going to play today. But this morning he was not cleared by the doctors to play. So they held him out. I'm totally okay with that. And we still got the dub. But I'm totally okay with that. We should be cautious with him. I would way rather have him fresh for the playoffs. That first line suffers without him. Studnicka's been doing an okay job. It clearly suffers without him, though. Now's not the time to need him. Because I still don't care if we end up in the second wildcard spot. I don't. I literally do not. That's just how I feel about it. So Studnicka is going to take the 1C role. Lindholm, you might remember a conversation about that acquisition, will start with a pairing with McAvoy on the top pair. I said that in a very strange way. That was awesome. He's, if we get even 90% or even 85% of what we just saw from Lindholm in this game on the average, holy shit, do we have a top pair to be feared right now. Now, I expect them to try Lindholm with Carlo in the next couple of games. They probably want to just see what they have. But so far, so good on what they have on the top pair. That guy is a puck-moving defenseman. That guy was whipping that thing. One game, can't overdo it, but I thought Grizz was our puck mover. This is a different kind of puck mover. My God. Riley ends up being the odd man out. They decide to keep Forbort and Clifton together. I really understand that decision. I think that was the right decision for now, even though I'm not as high on Forbort or Clifton as I am on a long-term Riley. Right now, they want to have as few variables as possible while they try to figure out where Lindholm's going to fit. So just take the one guy out. Don't change either of the other pairs. We'll kind of work our way through it. I think that makes sense. Is this a measuring stick game? It didn't feel like it. It's a rivalry game. It was certainly a big game, but I don't know if at this point, with how we've performed over the last 2 months, this was a measuring stick game. This felt like a just good game, right? I mean, we now know that we can at least in one game, compete with the best of the league. I just don't see a reason why I should question that anymore. Also, before we dive into it, on January 1st, the Tampa Bay Lightning had a 17-point lead over us. Now, we had some games in hand and all that good jazz, and it's been a couple of months. But a 17-point lead, and we just passed them in the standings. That's kind of bonkers. That's loony. And I'm here for it. Puck drops, like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. The first period was 4 minutes, very early, of power play for a high sticking call on Chernak. We do not get a shot on net because we are garbaggio on the power play right now. I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. But that's where we're at. Following that 4 minutes, we're going to take a penalty. We're going to kill off a penalty. And then shortly after that, Chernak is going to go for, I don't actually know what. The call was, he was coming down with DeBrusque and he kind of flung him to the ice. I think they called a high hit. No clue. Awful call, I thought. But we're going to go to the power play. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean jack shit because we don't do anything with it. At all. It was really bad. The whole game was actually really bad as far as power plays go. For both teams. Really bad. That's the first period. That's it. That's all I've got for you. Second period starts. Let's get away from the special teams except for 6 minutes in. It's going to be a power play. Sergachev goes for high sticking. And it's so... We need to get it together. Marchand, with a bad play on the blue line, turns the puck over. It leads to a 2-on-2. McAvoy takes Palat on the left wall, and he is going to guard him to prevent a scoring chance because it's a 2-on-2. He keeps him against the wall, waits for the change, waits for reinforcements because it's a 2-on-2. I just got to take care of the guy with the puck. The guy behind me is going to take care of the guy without the puck. We're going to be good. Here was Marchand's train of thought. I'm going to fill you in here. Marchand gives up the puck. Bad. He comes back to keep it a 2-on-2, making sure that there's a person for a person. But he starts to get clever. McAvoy's got Palat. But you know what Palat doesn't see? Is that Marchand's going to be McAvoy's shadow. He's just going to stand right behind him, and he'll be ready to lurk and to pounce whenever there's a chance. The problem is that leaves Mr. Hagel Bagel in the slot alone with no one covering him, just going, I'll take one. Palat gives it to him. Swayman doesn't have a chance. All on the slot, cross the crease, just woof, right into the empty net. And Marchand's sitting there like, whoa, how did that happen? This is becoming a trend with Marchand. It's insane for me to say this, but it's becoming a trend where he stops defending just blatantly, or he decides to go for a line change and just does not give a flying fuck what happens on the ice while he's going for that change slowly. We have seen this affect playoff games, and this season, particularly recently, we have seen it affect every aspect of our games. I love Marchand. He does a ton in every facet of the game. But these moments cost goals way too often. Way too often. And it's something I am legitimately getting worried about. All that to say that 7 minutes into this period, we are now down a goal. Now, we do not get anything on the rest of the power play because why would we? But 3 minutes after that goal is scored, this is a great play by Lindholm to work through pressure in our defensive zone and make a nice little pass to Haula. It's just a couple of feet, but it's smooth and it's tape to tape. Haula sees Pasta up on the right corner of the neutral zone and whips this pass on the far wall and in, and it's so perfect that Pasta is able to get behind the defender, receive the pass, go in on Vasilevsky, chop the puck a couple of times, moves to the backhand, flips it by a 1-1. Just a few minutes later, deflates the Tampa side. The building goes nuts. This audience was top tits. This was such a good audience. Such a good crowd for this one. Noisy. Welcome to it, Lindholm. I love that this was what he got to experience for his first game in Boston as part of the Boston Bruins. Absolute brilliance by the audience tonight. A few minutes later, a Coyle blatant miss while being alone in the slot and a Freddie off the post and out just kills you. This game could be 2 or 3-1 just midway through this one. But no, we couldn't get one to go. Vasilevsky just has that special aura. You have to beat him cleanly, man. Hey, hitting the post is still a miss, so I don't know what you want from me. 5:13 left in the period. Swayman's going to go for a trip. Yeah, I got that name right. Cirelli's coming down the right side, and he's going in on Swayman, gets behind the defense, and Swayman goes to reach out and poke the puck away. But he doesn't even go out with a stick. He just gets his arms out. He's playing the top of the blue crease. And Cirelli just runs into him as he's trying to turn around him, flips over, falls over, no shot on net. And they called Swayman for a trip. Maybe I didn't explain it very well right there, but if you go watch that play, that is not a trip. That's a makeup for the terrible Chernak call from the first period. Awful, awful call. We're going to kill it, though. So it's fine. 2 minutes left. 4v4. Carlo and Paul are going to go for roughing. 1:13 left in the period. And this is bad. Pasta comes in flying at Sergachev and misses hilariously. But he does get him in the leg. Sergachev gets tripped up. They're going to go to a 4v3 power play. Thank God we kill this And going into the next period, we kill the rest of the power play. 4v3 is a lot of space. Our penalty kill did a good job. Our power play did not. I guess you could say the same thing about the Lightning, that their penalty kill did a good job. Their power play did not. Really frustrating, though. In that 50 seconds into the third, we're going to get another power play. Kucherov for Slashy. We don't do jack shit. 4 minutes in, rebound trickles off Swayman. And this is a harmless shot, but it just gets a couple inches away from Swayman. And as he's going down to try to get it, Kucherov is there to get his stick while contested and smack it back into the slot blindly. Doesn't know anyone's there, but Stamkos is there, will collect the pass and fling it past Swayman. We're 4 minutes in, we're down 2-1, and I saw a lot of you just go, well, that's it. That'll do it for that game. There's no way we're scoring again. And I get it. I felt it. But I was still confident that we could, make a game of this one. 14 minutes left. I thought this was the break we were going to need, even though our power play has been terrible the whole time. But give us another one. Kucherov is sitting with his legs over the bench. He's just sitting on the wall. He's waiting to jump on the ice, but the change isn't there yet. So he's sitting. And we try to clear it into the zone. And it goes off his legs. And they blow the play dead. And then don't call a delay of game on him. Or a too many men on him. He was sitting over the edge with his legs dangling down. And impacted the play. That is 100% at least delay of game. Every time. Really weird non-call there. Because the ref stopped the play to talk about it. And still waved it. I need an explanation on that. I do not understand. 11:43 left in the game. And we need something lucky. And the hockey gods giveth. Pasta and Haula. They're fighting to keep this play alive. Haula's behind the net. He wins the board battle, flings it up into Pasta, who's on the right side of Vasilevsky, but he can't get it cleanly. So he just spins, puts it on his backhand, and smashes it against Vasi. And Vasilevsky didn't move. He had that side locked up. Ain't shit getting through here. But it did. And what was even cooler about this is that you could see the puck, and it's almost like it disappears behind a curtain. It just goes boop, right through, and all of a sudden you see it beyond him. It's 2-2. No clue how it went in, but we'll take them. We deserve those once in a while. That's a tie game. And we still got a lot of hockey left to play. Now, if you're Vasilevsky, that's the hockey gods taketh, but the hockey gods giveth back, I guess. Because just a few minutes later, Coyle makes a nice move to cut into the slot, put it on his backhand, fling it 5-hole. Vasilevsky closes the legs, but his head just goes right up to the ceiling. As if he just let that goal in. You know how goalies do that when it goes through 5-hole and they just go, oh. Yeah, didn't go in. It was between his legs. Made the save. But he thought it went in. It was a weird, weird visual. And then the game's going to change. 4 minutes left. And it's a huge keep-in by Lindholm twice to keep this alive. And it's great vision and IQ to keep the puck getting to players rather than just dumping it down the boards. I was so impressed with Lindholm this game. I can't believe how good he looked. I was saying we paid full price for him. If this is what we got going forward, we had a deal. We absolutely got a deal. But the best keep of this play ended up being Haula, he's coming back towards the blue line. He's in the offensive zone, coming back up towards it. It looks like the Lightning are going to be able to get it out, but he pokes it away, chips it past the defender towards the blue line, but catches up in time to hold the line and then sends it right back in on net where Hall is smashing away, trying to get it past Vasilevsky. It bounces back out. Pasta returned to the net, and he's there to select the rebound and boop, into the open net. That's 3-2. That's a Pasta hattie, baby. That's his 12th career hat trick. It feels like the 12th this year. The guy's been on fire. Huge, huge game for Pasta. And you love to see it. Just love to see it. It's also Haula's first 3-assist game. Love to see it. Our second line looked really good. Third line was chugging along. First line actually had a lot of chances, but just couldn't make anything happen. We are going to get an empty net situation with a minute left. Lindholm is going to miss the open net to ice it, but we do survive it. No one scores on the empty net, because why would we? But that's a 3-2 dub against a very, very good Tampa team. Game notes. Haula, I said it. First 3-assist game. Good job by the lad. 12th hat trick by Pasta. Good job by the lad. Swayman, another solid outing against some real firepower. He was making some big saves on Stamkos one-timers. That I love hearing the saves on those kind of shots. The big bash right against the pads. Oh, love to hear it. 0-5 on the power play. That sucks. And we gave up a shorty. That sucks. I am not having fun with the power play right now. This power play has been up and down all season. I'm not happy with it, and I don't think anyone else should be either. Marchand still impacts the game in a lot of ways. Nowhere close to what he was earlier in the season, what he was last year. He's not the same player right now. I really think it's an injury thing. People are talking about the suspension messing with his head. Maybe that's it. I think something's bothering him. I really do. Lastly, Lindholm looks incredible. He looks so good. The way he can skate in the defensive zone, he holds bodies off of him, but his turns are tight. The way he moves the puck, his vision, his IQ, everything about this showing was phenomenal tonight. I'm pumped if that's what we got. I clearly didn't watch enough of him in Anaheim. And yes, he was working with a 19-year-old Drysdale that was probably not, the best partner to have. He looks awesome. We should be really excited about that. All right, guys, that does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. We got another game Saturday night. There is a distinct possibility that I'm unable to watch that game until Sunday morning. So just keep that in mind. It might be a later episode than you're used to. Stringing together a couple more wins, we might really be able to slot ourselves higher in the division, which is cool. Again, I don't really care that much who we play in the first round. It's going to be a tough battle regardless. But this team is showing itself to be a little bit more than we originally thought. And I'm really excited about that. Go Bees!